position, man, for today's 390 race. Ricardo Otto, very fast lap time there in qualifying. So now what's the plan for the race?
Yeah, in qualifying I actually tried my best, but in the race I'm going to try break away. I'm going to try pull the gap. If I can't, I'm just going to stay behind and try the last lap, last quarter.
Watch out for him. He's got the championship leader, Tarek van der Merwe, not too far behind. Tyrese Robert, Luca Coccioni, some big names ready to go racing here in the KTM RC390 Cup, the Super Junior. So we're about to head out on track now. The conditions are still very cold out here, but I'm sure the racing action on track is going to be warm. So let's go straight now to the live Super Junior racing action.
1, 2, 1, 2. How's that? Sound good? So welcome to Red Star Raceway, ladies and gents. You've just seen Rob Portman down there on the grid. You can see the conditions are very nippy and exceptionally cold. 8 degrees Celsius is the ambient temperature here right now. And you can see it's not going to be an easy day's riding for these guys. They're going to have to get those tire pressures and temperatures up to the best that they can. Because remember, we are running with a situation of cold tires. Cold conditions means cold tires, which means very, very difficult track conditions to play with. Hard pressures in the rubber that's going to be on the track today. I'm just getting a couple of little sound things sorted out, so that's why you're hearing a little bit of up and down on the commentary, but we have got it almost dialed in. And green flag for the warm-up lap now, and this is literally a warm-up lap. It's the first time in anger they're going to head down into the circuit. It's a shortened circuit of Red Star Raceway, 2.1 k's long, and some work to do now for these youngsters as they head down into turn 1. It goes a big triple left-hander, flicks over into right-hand side, and then it goes, as I said, the shortened version. So they don't head down the big main straightaway, which we're going to see later on with the bigger classes. And of course the 250s will also be running on the shortened version of Red Star Raceway. We're running anti-clockwise, so it's going to be a little bit of fun and games here for these guys. It's the faster way of running the track. The clockwise version of the circuit is slightly slower. When I say slightly slow, it's like 1 or 2 seconds slower. So there's not much in it. And if we see the lap times that have already fallen over this weekend, we're in for an epic battle here at Red Star Raceway. So I can see my fellow commentator having to jog in here. He's warmed up now. Looks like the sun's come out as he came into the building. So could have timed it better, Rob. Rob Portman being down on the grid there. He's going to join us any second. I'm going to give him a few seconds to catch his breath and put that ride fast jacket back on again, because it's a bit nippy inside the studio too. But as you can see, the front row is going to be a bit of a fun fight here for the KTM 390s. Also going to be fighting hard there with the championship leaders, Tarek van der Merwe,
Testing.
See that we've got a very, very competitive front row there as we are about to head into the first part of this race. So Rob Portman joins me here in commentary.
Yep.
And it's a great start from Otto as he heads down into turn number 1. And looks like it's going to be Tarek van der Merwe right on his tail. Tyrese Robert going to try and go with him. Coccioni right behind them as they tuck into turn 1 for the first time. Tyrese with a good start. Looks like the man in the middle of the grid unfortunately lost out there and went to 3rd place. So man in 3rd moves up to 2nd. Man in 2nd drops down to 3rd, but the pole man gets the whole shot.
Tyrese exactly where he wants to be at the moment. They're in 2nd place, chatting to him before the race, and he knows he's very good at following his Tyrese Robert. He's able to do, he can go 2nd faster if he really needs to. So right where he wants to be, Tarek van der Merwe there in 3rd.
How are we looking on timing, Brent?
So our championship leader, he really just wants to consolidate and get as many points as he can here. On a brand new KTM RC390 for the weekend is Tarek van der Merwe, so still getting to grips with that bike. But look at this already, with the 2 jostling for 2nd and 3rd, that's allowed Ricardo Otto already almost on the first lap with almost a 2nd lead. So that's an impressive ride there from the young man.
That's how it goes with these guys. They will not hold back right from the word go, but Otto trying to get away literally from the word go and try and get as far ahead of Tarek van der Merwe and Tyrese Robert as he can. Tarek, remember, has also battled a little bit at the circuit in the past, hasn't quite gone his way in terms of Red Star Raceway, but the man in 3rd place, certainly a Red Star specialist. And as you saw this morning in that conversation you had with him just before we went into the racing, and on the live stream feed, you can see Tyrese Robert is fired up. He wants to make up all the lost ground that he's had over the last couple of races in this first part of the season.
Ricardo Otto, shares shuffle style, both feet off the pegs there. So you could see how hard that he's pushing there. Tarek van der Merwe looks like he's starting to close that gap just a little bit, and he's bringing Tyrese Robert with him. Just behind them is Coccioni, and then Blake van der Merwe. A welcome return to RC390 racing there for Blake. He's the brother of Tarek, of course. So great to see Blake van der Merwe out there, and he's right on the tail there of Coccioni. They're going to try and do everything they can to close that gap down to the 3rd place man, which is Tyrese Robert at the moment. But but the three at the front are starting to pull away. Ricardo Otto coming across the line. It's just under a second, 0.8 of a second lead. And around the short circuit, that's actually nothing.
Yeah, not a bad effort in terms of his first couple of laps as well. He's already down into the 54.8s. First lap from a standing start was a 59, so still under the minute bracket for the standing start. That's not a bad effort, but 54.8s, 55.1s out of the other two that are sitting second and third. Tarek and Tyrese on almost identical times as they cross the line, and Coccione losing ground.
Ricardo Otto sideways again, both feet off the pegs again. So he really is trying. He just gets that bike backed in to the right-hander there, and then they flick it into the tight left here. So Tyrese doing a great job to stick with Tarek van der Merwe. Just no answer to the man out front, though. Ricardo Otto has come here. He knows he's got to get those points on Tarek van der Merwe because he's starting to run away with the championship. So Ricardo Otto is doing everything he needs to at the moment. And Tyrese Robert right on the tail of his good mate in the slipstream now. Will he pull out? Yes, he does. Will we see a move on the brakes going into turn number 1? That's a great move there from Tyrese Robert up into second. So these two are pretty much going to be dicing now. What that's going to do is going to allow Ricardo Otto to stretch that lead even more. So I think Otto, if he plays his cards right, has got this sorted. But the battle on track is certainly for second place.
Yeah, I want to sort of slightly disagree with you there, Rob. I'm going to say that now that Tyrese is at the front, he wants to close down that gap. He realizes that Otto is getting away, so maybe he's seeing that the pace is a bit better on his bike, so maybe he wants to dictate the pace from second and bring himself and Tarek into the mix for the man in front. Looking at the lap times already, 54.7, so already a 10th up on the first and second laps that he's already gone through. He's moved up to 1.7 seconds up ahead of Tyrese Roberts and Tarek van der Merwe. As you can see, Tyrese now up in a second, the 22 bike ahead of the 32 bike. Battle of the twos. Then you've got Luca Coccione just off 4 seconds adrift. Not quite on the pace that he needs to be. Blake van der Merwe, Barry Mayers out there, James Beattie, Ralph Stocker, and of course Glenn Eve in the senior side of this KTM Juniors.
And we're seeing these really fast lap times because track conditions, although it's very cold out there, this is when these Pirelli tires work so well. We saw in the practice sessions as well, in all the categories, Super 600s and Super GP, the fast lap times that these guys are getting, especially the guys that are getting their tire pressure sorted. You get your tire pressure right in these conditions, these soft Pirelli tires, you get lap times. And we're seeing it now already in the Super Juniors. So that's only boding well for the classes later on. But this is the battle now for fourth place. Coccione still not able to quite break Blake van der Merwe just behind him. So Blake doing a great job on his first ride out on the RC390. So great to have him now in this championship.
Yeah, our brothers fighting there, two brothers racing. Always nice to see. It's like you and your butt. But you're talking about tire pressures. I think it's important to maybe bring in what those tire pressures should be. Must they go lower? Must they go higher? Rob, you've been around a long, long time in this game. You probably have a little bit more insight than what I have. But, you know, from my experience, particularly on this track, you have to go maybe a little bit higher on the tire pressure so that you don't get the wear and the tire tearing in the cooler conditions.
Yeah, well, coming here this morning, already seeing a lot of the guys in the bots and that with battling with tire degradation on the rear, especially. There's a lot of tires tearing, and that's because they're going with a low tire pressure and the Pirelli. You sit on the sidewall of the tire so long here at Red Star Raceway, and the Pirelli is very soft on the sidewall. That's why you're able to get fast lap times. So if you go slightly harder with the tire pressure, it means a more contact patch, a higher profile tire, and it just helps the tire to heat up, because remember, you don't get anywhere near the kind of heat that we normally do here at Red Star Raceway with those tire pressures. You normally run them at about a bar 1.1 cold, which comes up to about 1.5, 1.6 on a hot day. So here you're going to run it about 1.4 cold to get it up to about 1.6, 1.7 hot, which will help then with your tire wear. As out front, one man who's having no problem with tire wear is Ricardo Otto. They're coming now up to lap Glenn Eve, one of our senior riders there. So great to have him out on track as well. But Tyrese Robert doing a great job, because he's now putting his fastest lap of the race, 54.7, and he's just extending that lead now over Tarek van der Merwe in third place.
Yeah, 4 senior riders and 5 juniors fighting out today here for Super Juniors. First race of the day at the DO SuperGP Champions Trophy. It's round 4 of this championship, and Red Star Raceway, as always, is going to be a breeding ground for incredible racing. Here on the short circuit, it's spread out a little bit between the juniors, but I think we're going to see a tighter battle a bit later on in the race, because 54.7's now out of the top 2, which means Tyrese Roberts is running the same kind of lap times as what we're seeing out of the leader.
And Coccione.
The problem he has is he's got 2.8 seconds to try and make up. It's not going to be easy to do. Another back marker about to come into play. That's 83. That's Ralph Stocker. And Stocker's about to be closed down by the 7.4. Look at how Tyrese is pulling, though. There we go. We're back again. Hopefully that didn't go out too badly. We've got a little glitch in the matrix here with some power problems.
We took the blue pill. Who took the blue pill?
I don't know if it was a cat or a bent spoon, but anyway. The bent spoon now is on the cat, and he's running down there. And we are definitely live, so welcome back. If you didn't hear for a couple of seconds, apologies there, folks. But just a few little glitches in the matrix here with power. We've got almost 120-odd motorcycles running tire warmers, and somebody just turned a kettle on, and that just threw us completely wrong.
Tracy Fenter just put a kettle on.
Coccioni's closing as well, Rob.
Yeah,
Keep an eye on Coccioni. He's not too far off Tarek van der Merwe, and Tarek, I think, could be in a bit of trouble. He did lose it on the last lap, so when they crossed the line, Coccioni was actually ahead of him. So Tarek must have made a mistake somewhere, and he's now been able to make it up and come back at Luca Coccioni. So Coccioni may just spoil the day there for our championship leader to be actually on the podium.
Yeah, Tarek, it's all about getting as many points as he can now from this weekend, recognizing that he doesn't quite have the pace of Tyrese Robert and Ricardo Otto ahead of him, but he does have that comfortable championship lead at the moment. So if he can pick up 17 points, but he cannot afford to drop out of that podium position, so that's where he needs to be. And you could see Coccioni is right on his tail, so that battle's going to go all the way down to the wire. Tyrese Robert is closing in now at the front end.
A second as they're coming into turn number 3 here on the short circuit. Tyrese slowly but surely reeling him in and looking for a chance to pounce. Fastest man on the track right now, of course, is the man in third. That's Tarek van der Merwe. That's the only reason he was, is he wanted to get away from Luca Coccioni after making that little mistake. So a personal best being put in there. Personal
fastest
best
lap of the race.
Yeah, exactly. Fastest lap of the race. And looking at the way things are going right now, very good possibility of him hanging on to that third spot. I don't think Coccioni's going to have an answer. Another man about to be lapped there, I think that's James Beattie. James Beattie gets lapped and goes through. So that's a second place man in the Masters, or in the senior side of Super Juniors. And he gets lapped and passed by these two riders. But yes, the man on the move right now is Tyrese Robert. And you must know, you spoke to him, and we've already spoken to him all weekend long. And after very, very tough 3 opening rounds, he has got a big mountain to climb, and he's starting to do it right now.
Oh, this is such an impressive ride. At one stage, he was almost 3 seconds behind Ricardo Otto, our leader. So look how he's closed in a matter of 2 laps. Tyrese has closed that gap now, and we know Tyrese, if he sees a gap, he will take it, and he wants that win so badly. He can really kickstart his championship here at Red Star Raceway. Remember, there's still a couple of races left. Next time out at Desi, he had a big crash there last year, but he showed that he consecutive fast laps, a 53.9 now from Tarek van der Merwe. So Tarek is not done and dusted.
Tarek's on the move. Tarek is on the move in a big way. So Tarek van der Merwe starting to close in on these boys as well. But right now, it's all about the action at the front end. And Ricardo Otto is certainly going to be in for a run for his money here. You could see how close Tyrese got up and got really, really up close and personal there with Otto. Otto, with another share shuffle into turn 3. But it's not helping him.
No.
He was going exceptionally smoothly right from the word go. But right now, Tyrese Robert is the man to beat, and he's the smoothest rider out there. 54 fours out of him, 54 eights out of Otto, so he's already half a second up on Otto in front of him in terms of lap times. It's now just to find the time to get through, and we've still got 4 to go, so it's crucial. Does he go now and allow Otto a chance to come back at him, or does he just hang in there? But if he hangs in there, the problem he's got is, here he goes. He pulls out across the start-finish line, and bang, thanks for coming, new leader.
Well done, Tyrese Robert. Incredible ride there. He got the drive coming on the front straight, sat in that slipstream, and at the last moment pulled out, and latest of the late breakers is Tyrese Robert, who now leads this race. So does Ricardo Otto have any kind of answer? A little bit of a mistake there going into the left-hander. That's allowed Tyrese a couple of bike lengths now, but we're coming into the back markers now. Ricardo Otto, this is where he's so fast. He's late on the brakes on the inside. Doesn't make it stick. Tyrese Robert is looking so racy. He wants this win.
He makes a little mistake and and sits it up, so doesn't quite get the smooth run out of turn 4. Now into 5, up towards 6, and a back marker's in the way. They're coming up on the back end of Barry Mayer.
Lost a bit of drive.
Barry Mayer might just have cost him the drive there, and that, but if he gets himself between the two, yes, he might. Good move. Woo, that was very close. Barry Mayer saw the first man come through. He didn't see the second, and as they come across the line there, whoa, here we go. Looking back into the eyes of the man they've lapped for the second time, Glen Eve, and that might just be enough. No, it's not going to be enough. Look at how Otto is so late on the brakes. The dark knight of this particular category with that all-black Arai helmet is just looking for a way to pounce.
He just on the brakes, and he just throws that KTM RC390 into the turn with so much confidence. So definitely not willing to relinquish this lead to Tyrese Robert. He is fighting back. Tarek van der Merwe is slowly coming once again putting in the fastest lap time of the race. So in the last 3 or 4 laps, it's been Tarek, the man with the fastest lap. So that'll bode well for race number 2. But look at these two riders. They both get a little bit out of shape. They're coming out the right-hander, and they nearly touch. That's how close it is. Ricardo Otto getting the drive. Tyrese looks over his shoulder, and he sees a full face of bike number 74 as they come onto the front straight now. What is this? For the final time, is it the checkered flag? I can't quite see.
Yeah,
it is. It's checkered flag. Tyrese Robert.
Tyrese Robert eventually gets a first place. You know he's happy about that.
Pigs.
It's a bit of about time for him.
Yeah.
He's been waiting for that one.
I lost his screen.
The screen goes flying. His
Then he takes out a cone.
Well, he's a happy man. That's more important than that. Tyrese Robert taking the win there. You can see in the
He wants his screen back.
Can I get my screen, please?
It's 1,000 rand.
Can you please bring that screen back to me, Marshall? It'll help me out, and my dad won't shout at me. Your dad's not going to be shouting, trust me. Fastest lap of the race, though, came out of Tarek van der Merwe on that last lap. An incredible 53.8 came out of him. That's an amazing lap time. Tyrese Robert wins out over Ricardo Otto. Tarek van der Merwe in 3rd place. Then it's Luca Coccioni winning out ahead of Blake van der Merwe. Barry Mayer hangs on for the seniors ahead of James Beattie, Ralph Stocker, and Glen Eve. So that's our first race of the day here at the DO SuperGP Championship Trophy. We're going to head down and get some podium stuff, and Rob will take you through the highlights.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. You're going to head down to the podium now. Greg, so go down to the podium. It's right in front of the pit tower here, so get down there and congratulate our top 3 Super Junior riders, as we're going to have a look at some of the highlights in any second time as Tyrese Robert eventually gets his screen back. Can you hear me? This is the highlights now of the KTM RC390s. Okay, this is the highlights now of the KTM RC390 Cup. It was all about that man, Ricardo Otto, at the front. Tarek van der Merwe had a few little issues at the beginning of the race, but eventually got them sorted out and was charging down on the front too. Tyrese Robert at one stage was 3 seconds behind Ricardo Otto, and he came fighting back. This was the move that he made that would eventually hand him the race win. On the inside, get the slipstream and brake so late going into turn 1 and made the move stick on the inside. No answer from Ricardo Otto, although he tried everything he could, just couldn't make it stick. But it was Tyrese Robert who came across the line, banging the screen, which eventually fell off in pieces. But that was the first win of the season for Tyrese Robert, who's thrown his name very much back now into this championship contention. It was Ricardo Otto in 2nd, and of course Tarek van der Merwe, your championship leader. He picked up 17 crucial points and still remains your championship leader. He was in 3rd place. So as you can see now on screen, the riders will head to the DO SuperGP podium, where Greg Maloney will be down there. There's Tim Cook with the Pirelli caps ready to hand to our top 3 riders. And any second now, we'll cross over to Greg, who will catch up with our top 3 riders. As usual, hear what they have to say and any kind of changes they'll want to make for race number 2. But certainly the man to watch out for in race number 2 is Tarek van der Merwe, after setting that fastest lap time in race number 1, a 53.8. So whatever issues he had at the start of the race, he certainly got them sorted out for race number 2, because he's going to be the man to beat.
Rob.
So let's
Awesome
cross over
stuff
now
there
to
from
Greg.
Super Juniors. First race win of the season going to this man, although he's screenless coming in here. Hopefully managed to find that screen somewhere on track. I'm not quite sure if they're too worried about that right now. It's certainly going to be an epic battle in the second race. If this is the kind of race we got out of race number 1. See some high fives there between the riders. You can see how hard they've worked out there. But some incredible racing, as always, out of our Super Junior category. And nice to see a new man on the top. It means that the championship just gets opened up wide open again to head down to the next race here at Red Star, first of all, and then down into Desi's Raceway. But let's get them up on the podium. In 3rd place, a good ride initially, but lost a little bit of ground. Had to fight it out with Luca Coccioni for a while, but a super run for the Evolve Racing team there. Let's hear it for Tarek van der Merwe.
for Otto Racing, powered by Jesus KTM, and a great ride from him as well. He led for almost the entire race, only betted in the last 2 laps. But let's hear it for Ricardo Otto. And definitely a very, very happy young man to get up on the top of the podium. You can see looks like Dad's in a bit of tears there as well. You can see Craigie got real emotional. I like that. That's what it's all about. That's the kind of shot we need. Get a shot of that man right there, but there's the shot we need right there. That's Big Daddy. And he's just loving the fact that his son's back on top of the podium. Let's hear it here. Tyrese Robert, ladies and gents. And remember, that's also his very first win. I was going to get to that one. I wanted to keep it till he was up there. So he's worked hard over the last few seasons to get on top and eventually gets the top step of the podium. All he wanted today, actually, when he spoke to Rob and I earlier, was to get onto the podium. He didn't realize he was going to get onto the top step. But let's hand out those awesome trophies there. Tim Cook from Gas Sports handing out 3rd place to Tarek van der Merwe, and high fives all around. The Tembalicious is in the house as well. He'll be handing 2nd place out there from Gas Sports. Thanks, Temba. And as always in Super Juniors, it's Mr. John Jubber representing KTM, handing out the #1 trophy. And that's the one you wanted, isn't it? Awesome job, guys. Awesome job. Come on down. Let's have a quick chat to each of these riders. Going to start there with Tarek. Don't go too far away, boys and girls. Championship lead is more important right now than anything else. So I think consolidation of the points, once you realize they got away, is probably a good race strategy to have.
Yeah, but if I wouldn't want to risk it up top, so if we are racing that close, like Ty and Luca were, someone gets taken out, championship could be gone.
Good thinking. So what are you going to do now in terms of strategy for the 2nd race?
Just try to get a better start. Hopefully the bike doesn't skip a gear. And then, yeah, try to fight with them.
Hashtag obviously. Right. Next up, Mr. Otto. Come on in, you big guy. Great start. Fantastic run, and then with 2 laps to go, all of a sudden that great start turned into a bit of a fight for the win.
Yeah, the first race I was very strong, and then I couldn't be with the pace that Tyrese was, and yeah, back markers was also in the way, but yeah, it was very fun. The championship is just getting closer and stuff.
It just opens up that championship big time now, so we're 1 step higher than the championship leader, takes some points away from him.
Yeah, it's better, and yeah, I hope to win the 2nd race and be better.
Looking forward to it. Good job. All right, champ, come on in here. This has been a long time, and I know that this man has been waiting to speak about being not on the podium, but first on the podium as well. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I just want to say thank you to everyone that helped me get here. Evolve Nutrition, Uncle Francois, Uncle Andy Racing, SPK Eyewear, Uncle Nicky. Everyone's helped me to get here, and finally we've done it.
Okay, now that you're here, that's normally the first step, is to get up there. Once you get up there, it makes it very difficult to stay up there, but it usually ends up in a trend of a couple.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. I found pace that I didn't have, and lucky for me, the back markers helped me a bit, and it really helped my race.
Well, good job, and looking forward to what's going to happen in the 2nd one. I'm sure you got something special planned.
Yeah, I really do. I just want to try to do the same thing. Hopefully it can be more of a battle with Tarek involved too, and we'll have a great race.
Fantastic stuff. Well, that's our Super Juniors race 1 done, ladies and gents.